Today, I'm creating the strongest dragon in How to Train Your Dragon history. I'll cover every trait and aspect a dragon can have and pick only the best of the best in each category. By the end of this video, we'll be left with a dragon so overpowered that not only would no one be able to beat him, not even the entire Hooligan Tribe, not even Drago's entire army, heck, not even the dragon riders combined would be able to stand in the way of this creature that I'm about to create. What should we name this character? Well, since this dragon is to be the absolute apex of the archipelago, let's just call him Ender. You know, it runs in the name. The dragon of the end, the Ender dragon. But before we begin, just to make sure this is a bit more difficult, one small rule. We can only use a trait from a dragon species one time. So for example, if we choose to go for the Night Fury's speed, we'll not be able to choose the Night Fury again for another trait like its Plasma Blast or Intelligence. Okay, so let's start with a very basic question now, shall we? What species will our dragon be? The Red Death is the first race that we're considering. Being the mountain that grew wings, they're, well, you know, gigantic in appearance. They have enhanced strength and durability that matches their size, being able to smash through sea stacks as if they were made of paper. But are they the best option? Not quite. The second race we have to consider is the Bewilderbeast. This Class 10 Leviathan is a massive ice-breathing behemoth that towers above Berk. These guys are like the Professor X of dragons, capable of controlling others. However, their sheer size makes them a massive target, and agility isn't exactly their strong suit. Even though this race seems the perfect option, I'd have to go for another one. I choose the Woolly Howl. I mean, hear me out. The Woolly Howl is a strike-class dragon that possesses a body covered in thick fur-like scales, protecting it from the harsh, cold climates of its habitat. This characteristic makes it so its durability borders on immunity to the cold. While the Night Fury has a great skeletal structure for stealth, the Woolly Howl provides a bulkier, more resilient frame that can support the insane upgrades we're about to add, without being a slow, giant target like the Red Death. Now, this was just the first point, and we've got 13 other traits left to analyze. And for the 14th trait we saved for last, well, all I'm going to say is that it changes everything, as that will be the most broken trait for a dragon to have. We chose our race, but how about the way our dragon will be navigating the skies? We now have to give our character a set of wings. You might think of the Night Fury immediately, with its 45-foot wingspan and bat-like structure. But remember, we need to save the Night Fury for a different, more critical stat. Instead, we're looking at the Typhoomerang. This dragon is visually stunning and possesses a unique ability. It spins while breathing fire, creating a spiral of flames. Giving our Ender the wings of a Typhoomerang allows for high-speed corkscrew maneuvers that can clear entire forests, leaving scorch marks that last for decades. Having knocked down the basics, let's start getting into the more technical aspects of our character. What will its fighting style be? The known candidates are the monstrous Nightmare, which lights its body on fire, or the Rumblehorn, which acts like a battering ram. Naturally, the best option for us to choose is the Crimson Goregutter. Despite its intimidating appearance, it's a gentle giant. But in a fight, those massive antler-like horns aren't just for show. They can smash through stone and buildings like they're made of sand. Ender can charge into battle, tossing enemies aside with immense physical force, using his head as a siege weapon. Now that we know the fighting style, let's give our character firepower. Truth be told, there are many great options. The Night Fury's Plasma Blast, the Flightmare's Paralyzing Mist, or the Skrill's Lightning. However, all of these different dragons mentioned will be used later on in the video for other traits. So because of that, we have to choose the Shellfire. Now don't get me wrong, the Red Death's fire is indeed massive, capable of crumbling rock formations, but I think the Shellfire is better suited. If the Submaripper is the submarine, the Shellfire is the battleship. It can lob plasma balls over incredible distances with pinpoint accuracy. We're talking miles here. It's like a living, fire-breathing howitzer. This gives Ender the ability to destroy opponents before they even know he's there. We've covered 4 traits so far, but we've yet to give him the most important defensive trait, armor. Let's begin with the scales. Here we have 2 main candidates, the Bewilderbeast and the Screaming Death. The Bewilderbeast has ice armor, but the Screaming Death is the clear winner here. The Screaming Death has scales that are described as some of the toughest in existence. In fact, the only thing shown to penetrate its scales is boiling water from a Scaldron. Even heavy physical trauma barely slows it down. By giving Ender the scales of a Screaming Death, he becomes virtually impervious to standard attacks. We've covered defense. Now let's talk about senses. The prime example of a dragon with polished detection is the Night Fury, which uses echolocation to navigate dark caves. However, since we're saving the Night Fury, we have another option that's even better for pure detection, the Snow Wraith. The Snow Wraith has thermal vision that allows it to see through the fog of thick clouds and blizzards. While Night Furies have acute senses, the Snow Wraith is a hunter defined by its ability to track heat signatures in zero visibility. This means Ender can see you, but you can't see him. And finally, for the mental attributes, we've reached the most important form available to only the strongest dragons, the Alpha Control. Here, the two strongest characters in terms of control are the Red Death and the Bewilderbeast. Since we already used the Red Death for comparison, the Bewilderbeast is the only logical choice. This dragon is the king of dragons, for a reason. It possesses the ability to control other dragons with its mind. Giving Ender this ability means he turns your own dragons against you. Was that all? Nope, we're going for overkill here. Next, we've got natural weapons. When it comes to the strongest natural weapons, the prime candidates are the Deadly Natter's spines, the Razor Whip's tail, and the Death Gripper's pincers. For this, we're choosing the Death Gripper. The Death Gripper possesses retractable tusks and pincers that can crush prey, but its most terrifying weapon is its venom. One vial of Death Gripper venom can render a dragon unconscious, or subdue them instantly. Even Death Grippers aren't immune to their own venom. This adds a biological weapon to Ender's arsenal that can end a fight with a single scratch. Alright, even though our character could already defeat anyone in the archipelago, we're still far from done upgrading him to the fullest. How good would his durability be? Well, the prime candidate for this trait is the Red Death. The Red Death is like a mountain that decided to grow wings. It can crash through sea stacks and withstand massive collisions without flinching. Its skin is incredibly thick, and it has 6 eyes, giving it 360-degree vision to protect that durability. By giving Ender the constitution of a Red Death, he gains a massive pool of health to back up his Screaming Death armor. 9 traits down, 5 more to go. The next trait in our list is physical strength. I choose the Thunder Drum. The Thunder Drum is a powerhouse that can generate concussive sound waves to knock dragons out of the sky. While the Red Death is stronger by size, pound for pound, the Thunder Drum's ability to utilize its strength for sonic attacks and physical dominance makes it a top-tier choice for raw muscle. We spoke about strength, but how about another equally important physical trait? None other than speed. We now have 2 prime candidates, the Skrill, which rides lightning, and the Night Fury. And for that fact, we'll be taking the speed of the Night Fury. The Night Fury can reach speeds of up to 750 miles per hour, breaking the sound barrier. It's the stealth bomber of the dragon world. With this speed, Ender can disengage from any fight, outrun any projectile, and launch dive bomb attacks that are literally too fast to see. On to the final 3 traits. The next ability in line is none other than Intelligence. Now I know what you're all thinking. Intelligence should obviously go to the Night Fury, right? No, because we use the Night Fury for speed. But don't worry, because there's another dragon that shares the same wicked smart intellect, the Light Fury. With their genius-level intellect, they can understand complex situations, mimic human expressions, and are creative in battle. By giving Ender the brain of a Light Fury, he gains the ability to outsmart opponents, use his environment, and even understand human speech. And now we reach the most important trait, and that is special ability. Let me tell you, there are many incredible, overwhelming ones to choose from. For example, the Changewing has hypnosis. However, on my end, I would choose none of these because the choice of special ability should be the Dramillion's mimicry. You see, the Dramillion is a very contextual dragon. It has the ability to replicate almost any type of fire they witness. Now, this ability of the Dramillion allows us to choose from some incredibly strong firepower combinations. So let's start with the second firepower for our character, and that's going to be the Deadly Natter's Magnesium Blast. The Deadly Natter possesses the hottest fire in the dragon world, a magnesium blast that can melt through solid rock and metal instantly. But why is this so overpowered? Well, you see, now is when we choose the third firepower. All our character needs to do is combine this intense heat with another substance to cause irreversible damage. We're combining the Natter's magnesium with the Gronkle's lava. By combining magma and magnesium, Ender can create a substance capable of destroying even dragon-proof metal. This mixture is so volatile and hot that no armor in the archipelago can withstand it. But wait, there's one final trick up our sleeve. Since we're using the Dramillion's ability, we can assume Ender has reached the Titan Wing stage of this power. Titan Wing Dramillions possess the ability to camouflage, just like a Changewing. This means Ender can turn completely invisible, not just at night like a Night Fury, but in broad daylight. So to recap, Ender has the body of a Woolly Howl, the wings of a Typhoonmerang, the armor of a Screaming Death, the mind control of a Bewilderbeast, the speed of a Night Fury, the venom of a Death Gripper, the long-range artillery of a Shellfire, the intelligence of a Light Fury, and the Dramillion's ability to turn invisible and mix magnesium and lava to melt anything in its path. This character is so overpowered that not even the entire Red Death nest would stand a chance. But how does it compare to a Night Fury's abilities? Well, that's the subject of this other video. Click on this video to see every Night Fury ability explained. Go ahead, click it.